Okay, I can see your chats now. Okay, then. Hello, 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 everyone. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. A very, very great good evening to all of you. Good evening, Ajay, Ishika, Shreyansh, Prashant, Yash, Sakshi, Pooja, Anurup, Ishita, Sharan. Good evening, guys. Good evening, buddy. Good evening. Good evening. So, good evening, everyone. Good evening, guys. Okay, so first of all, warm welcome to all of you to this course. Okay, and I can see some familiar names. So I was out from YouTube from a lot of days. Now that I'm back on YouTube, so I hope we'll have some exciting time and we'll create some great things as well. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Good evening, and I welcome all of you to this course, to this 7-day course. So previously, when we had essentials, it was a 5-day course, right? So on a lot of demand, we have made it a 7-day course, and now in that thing, the best part is that we'll have a lot of time to create the project. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome all of you. Okay, for all the new people, I'll introduce myself. So my name is Saurabh Gupta, and by profession, I'm a full stack web and app developer, and I also teach for Let's Upgrade on YouTube and in their PGP courses. Okay, so I can see some familiar name. You guys might be knowing me, but for all the new people, we'll rock. Don't worry, we'll rock. Okay, so before we start, first of all, I would like to tell you few things about this course. What are we going to do? And I'll ask you few things. What do you want from this course? And based on that, I'll curate what do we have to learn. Okay, so I'm not going to push my things on you directly. No, not like that. I'll ask you what do you want now, not in JavaScript, but actually as a project. Okay, so first of all, let's do few things. Yes. So guys, first thing is I want every one of you to be registered for this course. So the registration link of this course will be in the chat. Only if you're registered, then you're eligible for the certificates that you will receive after the course. Okay. So once you're registered, after that, every day you have to submit your what do you say, attendance, and also you have to submit the assignments. So basically, every day or maybe in every alternate day, I'll give you an assignment that you have to complete and you have to submit. For both of them, forms will be available every day in the chat. So you have to come, you have to submit your attendance, you have to fill the attendance, you have to submit the assignment. That's all you have to do. And at the end, you also have to submit the project. And finally, you just have to give a very normal exam based on whatever we have learned. And only if you complete that, you'll get a Let's Upgrade certificate for that. Your essential JS has been private. Maybe the old ones, but now we are back again. Essential JS, and now it's 7-day course. So we have a lot of things to do. Okay. So guys, I hope the instructions are clear, right? So the very first thing I want you to understand this, you have to register, right? So that no one misses a certificate. You have to register, you have to fill attendance every day, you have to submit all the assignments, and at the end, you also have to do the project that I'll do. And also, you have to give a very normal exam. And after that, you're good to go. You'll get a certificate and a lot of learning as well. Okay. So before we start, let me ask all of you from I just want to know from which part of the country you guys are joining. So everyone, come on. Can I see some state names in the chat? Everyone, from where you guys are joining? Come on. Indian state, outside, from wherever you're joining, just let me know your states, your places where you live, so that I can be I just want to see from where people are joining. Okay, everyone, come on. I'm watching. Yes, and good evening to all the people. It should be 2 hours, please. I'm trying. Let's see. So for now, it will be 1 hour, but don't worry. If we feel that the project session is going to take, if I feel the project session will take a little more time, I'll extend it. Don't worry about that. Okay. Now I can see UP, Pondicherry, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab, Andhra Pradesh. Okay. India, that's great. UP, Andhra, Telangana, Nepal. Thank you so much, Vivek. Thank you so much, buddy. Amritsar, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Assam, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Odisha. It's actually like you guys are from all the way from north to south. So that's great. I'm from China. That's great. You're welcome too, buddy. Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, Vijayawada, Maharashtra, Hyderabad. Amazing, amazing. That's really amazing, guys. I can see all the people joining from all the corners of the country. That's really great. That's really great. Okay. So now, first of all, tell me, are you excited for this JavaScript course? Because we're going to do a lot of things. Okay, so I'm going to ask you 2, 3 questions, and then after that, we'll directly start with the things. Okay, so first of all, tell me, are you guys excited for the JavaScript course? Everyone, Are we excited for the JS course? Because we're going to start from very basic, we'll understand all the concepts that are required, and after that we'll move on to see what actually JavaScript holds, what are the powers of JavaScript, and after that we'll also create a project. So I'll tell you everything that we're going to learn. So for that, let me open Notepad. Till the time, you guys tell me, are you excited about this 7-day JavaScript essential course? Okay, that is great. I can see a lot of yeses now. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, so now let's move ahead. So let me introduce JavaScript to you. First, understand what JavaScript can do. Okay, so before moving on to the code and everything, let me make you understand first what actually JavaScript is. So this course is for everyone. If you're a new person, if you already like have worked with JavaScript, if you already have experience in anything, doesn't matter. This is for everyone. Okay, but yes, if you have a little bit knowledge of HTML and CSS, it would really help. Okay, my Josh is always high, Ajay. It's always high. I'm always like Josh is always high. Okay, that's okay, cool. So now, guys, okay, so I'm telling you that the prerequisite, like, first of all, it's not important. You can understand everything because we are going to start from scratch. But what I want to like just let you know is if you have a little bit knowledge of HTML and CSS, that will be amazing. Why I'm saying this, so for all the new people who are learning JavaScript for the first time and also don't have any knowledge of HTML and CSS, you can just go on LetsUpgrade channel. There is HTML and CSS essential course that I have taken. Also, some other trainers have also taken that. There is also a recent HTML and CSS essential session on YouTube, right? And doesn't matter, you can learn it from anywhere. I'm not like telling you to like only learn from this channel, but yes, if you have a little bit basics of HTML and CSS, that will really help. Okay, and if you're from a programming background, that will again help you a lot. Okay, but if you don't have that, no need to worry. I'm going to start from scratch. You'll understand everything from scratch. But the only thing I want from you guys is focus. That's all. That's the only thing I want. Everything else will be fine. Okay, so now guys, let's start. Everyone, let's start. But please make sure, if you don't know, after today's session, just go sit for 2 hours and learn basics of HTML and CSS. It's just a 2 hour thing, guys. It is just a 2 hour thing. Why I'm forcing you to learn that? Because at the end, well, we are actually going to create a cool project. And I really want all of you guys to understand that project perfectly. Right? So that's why I'm suggesting you to learn little bit of HTML and CSS if you don't know. That's all. Okay, that's great, Ajay. That is really great. Okay, so now, guys, let's move ahead and let's talk about something called as JavaScript. What exactly is JavaScript? Sir, in the register link, we just have to click on enroll button, right? Yes, Arash. Yes, Arush. Yes, yes, that's correct, buddy. Okay, if you have logged in, you just have to click on the enroll button. That's all. Okay, guys, so let's move ahead. Let's talk about JavaScript. So the first question that comes here is, what is JavaScript? And for now, I want answers from you. What do you guys know about JavaScript? Come on. Can I see some answers in the chat, everyone? Everyone, come on. Can I see some answers in the chat? What is JavaScript according to you? What have you heard of it? Tell me that. What have you heard of it? And then I'll tell you what exactly it is and what it does and how it is going to help us. So come on, everyone. I'm waiting for some answers. I want all the 130 people to tell me whatever you know. Wrong, right, doesn't matter. Just tell me whatever you feel is correct, whatever you know about what is JavaScript. And after that, we'll start the whole thing. Come on, guys. What is JavaScript according to you? Everyone. Client-side language. Yes, is a lightweight scripting language. Okay. Now I'm getting answers, and yes, they are correct, not wrong. Client-server language, scripting language, scripting language. Move ahead, guys. I want front-end technology. Okay, that's also great. Yes. See, all these answers are not wrong, but they are not exact. No need to worry about that. These answers will also do, so no need to worry about that. Programming language for web, correct. Based on Java programming language, no. It gives functionality to do a website. Yes, that is correct. Scripting language, programming language, yes, you can say that. Derived language from Java, it's not exactly derived. See, guys, if you feel JavaScript is based on Java, it is not correct. Just because of the name, don't feel it's actually based on Java. It's a programming language, fine. Some things will match in Java and JavaScript, fine. But it is not directly based on Java. Okay, everyone. So don't think like that. That's not correct. JavaScript, just because it has the name Java in it, it does not belong to Java. Okay. Perform or browse the script itself, correct. Interaction, end user, provides more functionality than HTML and CSS. It makes a web page responsive. Amazing. See, guys, all the answers here are almost correct. Nothing is wrong. All the answers are justified. JavaScript is the world's most popular programming language. JavaScript is the programming language of the web. That's correct, Pooja. That's correct. To create dynamic website, also correct. Okay, again, guys, let's move ahead and let's take today's session to actually understand JavaScript better and what it does, what is the history, how it is used, and what is the future of it. Okay, before starting to code, let's understand everything. And for that, I'm going to open a notepad, and also let me take a browser window for you, and I'm going to open a Jamboard in which I can show you what actually it does. Okay, so a clear cut Jamboard and a notepad. So let's talk about it. So as you guys said that the definition is JavaScript is a scripting language or a programming language. So let me write it. Yes, that is correct. JavaScript is a programming slash scripting language. That's correct. Okay, that means basically it's just like any other programming language like C or C++. Basically, you write instructions and that code is executed and it does something. That means you write some code, it is executed and it gives some output, right? Just like a normal programming language, it can work. But what it actually does, like C does something, C++ does something else, Java can do something. What is the use of JavaScript? Yes, we know now, okay, fine, it's a programming language. That means it might have all the concepts like variables, loops, arrays, and all that. But then, how are we going to use JavaScript? Where are we going to use JavaScript? Right? What it actually does. So let's try to understand that as well. Does it necessary to log in with the same mail ID in the YouTube for attendance? No, that's fine, Garima. No, it's totally fine. You can log in with anything. Okay. So now, guys, let's talk about it. Now, if you know HTML and CSS, it will be amazing. If you don't know, let's talk about it. So, guys, see, when you create a website, okay, when you create a web page, let's not say website, let's say when you create a web page, okay. So basically, the content of the web page. Now, I'm assuming that you guys know this, but if you don't know, don't worry, just listen what I'm saying, okay. So when you create a web page, like for example, let's say you go to something like flipkart.com or something like that. When you create a web page, you see a lot of things, right? You see a lot of things. You see images, text. Basically, a web page is nothing but something that includes images, text, input fields, right? All sorts of things, boxes, all of that. So these are, we can consider them as elements. These are elements on the web page. And all these elements are actually created using HTML. So HTML is the language that actually helps you to create the elements that you see on the web page. The images, the text, audio, video, everything that you see on the web page, every content that you see on the web page is mostly 99% of the time will be created using HTML. Okay. And then HTML can only create the content. But then you also see the boxes are so good, right? They are well designed, they are well adjusted. The buttons are big, the buttons have good color, all of that, right? You can see the blue color is here, then there is white color. All of this is arranged properly. When you hover on something, the color changes. When you move your mouse somewhere, things zoom or something like that. How is this happening? Because if HTML is only creating the content, how are all these things happening? So for that, you have the second language that you might have learned, that is CSS, cascading style sheet, right? So HTML and CSS work together to make a good designed web page. So something like that you can see here, all the elements, and they are all designed and adjusted perfectly. This is what HTML and CSS do. This is what HTML and CSS do. They just create a design. But now, if you see a few more things, like for example, you click here and the image changes, right? You hover on this and a box comes up, right? You hover on this, a new box comes up. You hover somewhere, things rotate. You click somewhere, a pop-up appears. Are you getting my point? Guys, everyone, are you guys getting my point? You just watch the site for some seconds and a pop-up appears again, right? An ad pop-up or a login pop-up, or now you need to log in. That means those elements were not there initially, but they just got added. How that happened? Those elements were not there initially, how they got added? So all the interactions, all the clicks, double clicks, element addition, element removal, all of that, who is doing that? Right? Because these three things are something that a user sees on a web page. You go on a web page, you see content, you see well designed content, and you interact with them. Something happens, some things pop up, some things move. Who is doing all that? Some elements are not there in the start, but they just appear suddenly from somewhere. Who is doing all that things? Okay, so that is something that JavaScript is famous for. Okay, it was famous for this till before 2009. Now JavaScript is much more than that. We'll also talk about that. Don't worry. That means from now till now, we can understand that dynamic addition of elements. Like I'm on my web page, I'm watching it carefully, and something pops up, something is added. I can click somewhere and change something. I can click somewhere and remove something. I can click somewhere and add something. Who is doing all of these things? So from now I can understand, okay, fine. If I tell you, okay, fine, JavaScript is doing all these things. So what can I understand with this definition? That JavaScript is responsible for adding, removing, updating, changing, managing the elements on the web page dynamically. Why dynamically? Because you don't go and change code to see this. It happens on the spot. It happens on the go. Website is running and things are happening. So that's why we call it dynamic. That means JavaScript is responsible for dynamic updation of the web page. Things update, things change, right? So that's what I'm understanding. That means I can say that JavaScript is responsible for okay, manipulating HTML and CSS. Adding elements mean was, guys, adding HTML elements. Changing the color is what? Changing the CSS color. That means basically JavaScript is responsible for manipulating HTML and CSS. That's what we can understand. And these are the only things that you can actually see on the website. Other than this, you don't see anything. These are the only things that you see on the website. That's why these three things, HTML, CSS, and JS, are the most important layers of World Wide Web. These three are actually considered as the most important layers of World Wide Web. World Wide Web. So HTML, CSS, and JS, three of the most important layers. And from that one, we're going to learn the third layer, that is JavaScript. Okay, everyone. Have we understood? Are we understanding what I'm trying to say? What JavaScript does? Everyone, please tell me. Guys, I want all of you to understand. So keep giving me answers. Have we understood what JS is going to do? Now, at least I have the idea what it does. Now, how it does it, what exactly it is doing, how it got there, all of that I still need to understand. So I will tell you now. You still need to understand all of that. So that's what JS does normally. Okay, then. So let's move ahead and let's talk more about it. So till now that I have understood, that is JavaScript is language that is responsible for manipulating HTML and CSS. Okay, now one more question I want to ask is, do you guys know what is DOM? Have you guys heard of it? If you have ever learned HTML, you might have heard of it. Have you guys ever heard about DOM? Say yes or no. Depending on it, I'll again explain what is DOM. Come on, everyone. Say yes or no. Have you guys heard about DOM? Do you guys know what is DOM? Everyone, come on. If you know, tell me the full form. Come on, everyone. Do you guys know what is DOM? And don't worry, I'll still explain it. Doesn't matter if you know or not. It's totally fine. I'll still explain it because there might be a single person somewhere who doesn't know it. So for everyone, it will be helpful. Okay. So then let me also talk about DOM. Yes, it actually stands for what? Document Object Model. What exactly it is? What exactly is DOM? It's very simple to understand. See, let me open VS Code to write some code. Okay, let me just open VS Code. Let's do one thing, guys. Let's go and create a new folder in which we'll store the whole. Don't worry, guys. Whoever is saying no, don't worry. I'll explain you what is DOM. Don't worry. Today's session is all about understanding the basics on the web. So let's go. So let's create a new folder. Okay, now where is my new folder option? Here we go. New folder, and let me call it JS-ESS. Okay, JS Essential. So in this folder, I'm going to store everything, and at the end of the sessions, I'll share this folder to you. Okay, everything that I'm going to do, I'm going to put in here. So let's open this folder in VS Code. So let me close all my previous files and let's open it. File, open folder. It's on my desktop. So let's open it. Here we go. Cool. Fine. Solid. Let's go now. Let's create a simple HTML file. I'm going to call it index.html. And I'm just going to zoom it so that you guys can also see it. Okay, fine. Now let me create a basic HTML document, a very basic HTML document. So HTML, I'll create it by my own so that it's not confusing. Okay, then inside that I'll have my head, Inside head will have a title in which I'll just write, let's say JS intro, something like that. And after head, I'll have a body. Now you guys are familiar with this structure already, right? And then inside that I can have div p, whatever it is. So I can have a div. Inside that div I can have a p. After this div I can have an image tag, something like that, right? This is how a normal HTML looks like, right, everyone? This is how a normal HTML looks like. Now if I tell you to create a tree structure for this document, how will it look like? If I tell you to create a tree structure of this particular thing, how will it look like? HTML is on the top. It's the parent of everything. So like, for example, if I want to create a tree for this, let's see how will it look like. Where is my come on, yeah, Jamboard. So it will look like something like this, right? See, on the top, now see guys, I'm not going to create a very great drawing, but let's try to understand. On the top we'll have HTML. Okay, then after that we're going to have head. After that we're going to have something called as body. Okay, inside head we're going to have a title, right? Inside body we're going to have a div that we created. We're going to have an image that we created, and we're also going to have a p that we created, right? And the tree goes like this. So inside HTML you have head, body. Inside head you have title. Inside body you have a div and an image, and inside div you have a p. That is how my tree structure is looking like, right? If I read this code, if I read this code, that is how my tree structure is looking like. Simple. Inside HTML you have head, you have body, both are siblings. And then head has a children called title. Body has two children, div and image. And inside div it is having one more children, which is basically a p tag. Simple HTML. And here we go. The tree structure looks something like this. And this is what you call as DOM. The tree structure of an HTML document can be considered as DOM, document object model. Now, you don't have to worry about this. So what happens is when you write your HTML code and when you execute it on the browser, when you write HTML code and when you execute it on the browser, there is an interpreter inside the browser that converts the normal HTML code to a tree structure and then reads that tree structure to create the output. So browser actually reads the tree structure to understand how to generate the output. Is it clear? So whatever code you write is for you. Browser interprets that code to create a tree structure and then reads the tree structure to create the output. So that tree structure of a HTML document is considered as DOM, document object model, where every element can be considered as a element, obviously, as an object. You can call it anything, element, object. Because see, when you write code, you call it a tag. When we write code, we call it a tag. But when the tree is created, those elements become objects. Is that clear? And the CSS that you write actually works for objects. But yes, we cannot see this obviously. So we have the code for reference, right? We can only see the coding part, but internally these things are created and CSS works for these elements. Is that clear? And JavaScript is responsible for actually manipulating this tree. Now, when I say manipulating, that means JavaScript can dynamically remove any element, add any element, change the style of any element. This is what JavaScript can do. So that's what you see. So JavaScript can actually manipulate this tree. Now, see, JavaScript doesn't manipulate the code. You know that. So JavaScript actually manipulates this tree that has been created. Is that clear? But we can't see that. We can't see this tree. That's why we refer to the code. That's why JavaScript can actually also be called as, what do you say, a DOM manipulation language. JavaScript can be called as a DOM manipulation language. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, don't mind my spellings, guys. Don't mind my spellings. I'm very bad at it, but are we cleared with the definition? So JavaScript can also be considered as a DOM manipulation language. Basically, the job is to manipulate HTML and CSS. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, hello, cascading style sheets master. How are you, buddy? Please don't spam the chat. Okay. Yes, don't worry, Raj. Throughout the course, I'll speak all about that, the important things in JS. So everyone, guys, have we understood the logic, what JS is going to do? Now we'll talk more about it and then we'll dive on to code. But before that, are we understanding everything till now? Okay. So JavaScript is basically a DOM manipulation language. It manipulates the DOM tree, and by doing that, it manipulates the output dynamically. Dynamically. Why am I saying dynamically? Dynamically. Okay. So bad. So bad. Fumbling. Okay. Sir, please open new file for JS. Yes, definitely, buddy. Don't worry. I'll teach you how to create a new file for JS, how to write it internally. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. Cool then. Let's move ahead. Now, guys, see. Now, before becoming all this, before becoming a language that manipulates HTML and CSS, or before becoming a DOM manipulation language, it is still a programming language. That means JavaScript has all the constructs of a programming language, like variables, conditions, loops, arrays. JavaScript has all the basic programming constructs that a normal programming language like C or C++ has. So JavaScript, that's why it's also considered as a programming language or a scripting language, because it also has the basic constructs of a programming language. Okay. Plus, to perform DOM manipulation, it has a lot of different things, because JavaScript was never intended to only become a programming language. It was created actually to manipulate DOM. So JavaScript was created by a company called as Netscape. The inventor Brendan Eich. So this was the person's name who created JavaScript, and JavaScript was never intended to become only a programming language. Since, like, even though it has all the programming constructs, okay, but it has a lot of different things that actually help you to manipulate the DOM. Is that cleared? So JavaScript has all the basic programming constructs, plus it has all the things that are required to manipulate the DOM, because that's the reason JavaScript was created. Because see, if someone wants to do normal programming, C and C++ were available, right? So that's why JavaScript was created, to manipulate DOM, to manipulate HTML and CSS. That's the main reason JS was created. It was never created like a normal programming language. That's why JS was one of a kind, and JS still is one of a kind. Is that clear, everyone? That's why there is no competition to JS in a certain field. Okay. And it was, I think, invented around 1995 or something like that. I don't know the exact year. Okay. But in between that, it was created. And from that time, there is no competition because it is one of the kind. No other language can perform DOM manipulation. JS was only created for this. Then why it only uses? Don't worry, Anu. I'm going to give you answer, Anurup. Don't worry. I'm going to give you all the answers. Okay. Now, see, guys, Anurup has asked a really good question here. Though it has all the stuff like normal programming language, then why it is only used for front end language? Why it is only used in front end? That's the question, and that's a really important question. Now, this is what someone called Ryan Dahl also thought. In 2009, a person named Ryan Dahl also thought the same thing. If JavaScript is having all the programming concepts as well, then why to only limit it to a normal DOM manipulation language? Why not use it for something else as well? If it can work like a normal programming language, so if I'm able to use JavaScript for different things as well, it will be like, now I only have to learn one language, I can perform DOM manipulation, and I can also do some other things as well. So, like, this is what he thought. And then in 2009, that person created something called as Node.js. Is that clear, everyone? That person created something called as Node.js, which is nothing but a JavaScript runtime, an environment like a C compiler, right? An environment for JavaScript. Now, I'm not going to go very deep in this, but I'm just giving you an introduction. So Node.js is like running environment of JavaScript. It creates an environment where you can run JavaScript. So now, guys, when JS was created, the only environment in which JS can run was the browser. Browser was the only place where JS can run. So JS was actually limited to the browser. You cannot use JS outside the browser. That was the restriction, because it was only created for manipulating the DOM. So it was only working inside the browser. So in 2009, Ryan created something called as Node.js. And basically, it's like a software which you install in your PC, and it creates an environment to run JavaScript anywhere in your PC. And now, actually, because of this, you can run JavaScript anywhere. And now, because of this only, you can use JavaScript for anything else as well. Now, JavaScript is not limited to DOM manipulation. No. Now, you can use JavaScript for machine learning. You can use JavaScript for creating APIs. You can use JavaScript as a backend language for server side. You can use it like a normal multi-purpose programming language. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, I hope we are getting cleared. Now, our course is not intending to learn Node.js at all in this 7 days. In this 7 days, we are going to learn what JavaScript does in the browser. Okay, so basically in this 7 day course, we are going to learn. Let me just delete few things from here, or let me just create some space. In this 7 day course, we're going to learn all the basic programming constructs or the concepts of JS. Okay, and what it does inside the browser, like basically the DOM manipulation. And see, guys, one more thing. When JS was created, you know, right? You guys gave me the answer that JS is a client-side scripting. Client-side scripting. Why it was only called a client-side scripting? Because when it was created, it was only working in the browser. When it was created, it was only working for the browser. The only job that JS was doing was manipulating the HTML and CSS. Okay, and it used to work inside the browser. So if I load a site, if I load something like facebook.com in my browser, so whatever JavaScript Facebook has written for their website, it will work in my browser. So basically, JS was only running inside the user's browser. That's why JS was considered as a client-side scripting language. It was a language which used to execute inside the client's browser. Whoever has loaded that site, that JS will run inside their browser because it is only manipulating HTML and CSS. So that's why JS was only considered as a client-side scripting language. But from 2009, it is not only a client-side scripting language. Now it has become a multi-purpose programming language. Is that clear? Now you can use it for literally everything. Machine learning, AI. You can use it to create your drones, function your drones. You can use it to create APIs, backend, everything. What is JS runtime? A running environment for JavaScript. Just like you have C compiler, you have JRE, right? Java runtime environment. Just like that, it's JS runtime. That means basically environment where JavaScript can run, where all the support files that JavaScript needs are provided so that you can write JS code and run JS code. So everyone, are we cleared? Now I hope you have a little bit of more understanding of JavaScript. Now I hope if someone comes to you and asks you what is JavaScript, now you know, now we'll not only tell that it's the client-side scripting language. Now you have much more than that to answer, right? Any other language? For web, I don't think there is any other language till now. Okay, Microsoft created one language called as JavaScript initially when JavaScript was still new, but after some time they like closed it because JavaScript has captured almost everything, all the market, and there was no competition. So Microsoft created one language initially called JavaScript to compete with JavaScript. Okay. Okay, so I hope everyone has understood everything, and now we are actually good to go. So guys, we are only going to learn the client side part of JS. Okay, that means the programming concepts and DOM manipulation. Okay, but no problem. After 7 days, maybe after some time, we'll have one more essentials, or you can also join our courses where I teach. Okay, so you can also join our courses where I teach everything from start to end: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node.js, React, everything. Like you, by that one course only, you can become a complete full stack developer. Okay, so I also teach basically, so you can join our courses. You can just go on letsupgrade.in, check out our courses, and you can join any course. Okay, and the best part is you can join any course and you can watch all the courses. So even if you join a full stack web development course, you can watch AIML course, you can watch data structures course, you can like watch anything. Okay, so I also teach here. If you want, you can join our courses. You can learn everything from me, all the things. Okay, but for now, let's move ahead and let's go. So what is TypeScript? Is it to replace JS? No, money. No. TypeScript is like a superset of JavaScript. It's like an improved way, or just an improved way of writing JavaScript. It is not a replacement for JavaScript at all. No. TypeScript is not a replacement. Okay, guys. So now then, everyone, I hope we are good to go, and let's start. Guys, let's start. What is JS engine? It's simply like what exactly is, like, let me give you a normal definition so that everyone can answer. Okay, like for example, when you run JavaScript inside a browser, so browsers have engines that can run what do you say, JavaScript, that can execute JavaScript. Okay, so Chrome has a V8 engine that executes JavaScript. Node.js also follows that same engine. Node.js uses Chrome's V8 engine to run JavaScript outside the browser. So engine is something that basically helps you to execute JavaScript. In this case, very, if I like just have to say it simply, that's what it does. Okay, so everyone, let's start. Let's see what do we have to, okay, what I'm doing here, yeah, let's go. So let me remove all the stuff that we don't need, like all this, and then run JavaScript in Node.js is TypeScript. Running JavaScript is Node in Node.js. No, 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 Trinath. No, no, no. Running JavaScript in Node.js is not TypeScript. TypeScript is just a way of writing JavaScript in a different way. More of object oriented, more of strict typing, like any all the other languages. So TypeScript is just a superset of JavaScript. It's not a replacement. It's like one more layer added to JavaScript where you write good JavaScript with proper variables, types, and all that. It is not a replacement, and also you don't need Node.js to run TypeScript. Is that cleared? So guys, let's go and let's see how to write, how to start with JS. And for today, guys, we're going to focus on the basic programming constructs. And also tomorrow, we're going to focus on the basic programming constructs. And after that, after these 2 days, or maybe I think 3 days, after 3 days, we are going to starting with DOM manipulation. And I don't want any of you guys to miss DOM manipulation. Okay, now before we start, I want to ask, what do you guys want as project? What should we make? What should we make? Come on, everyone. A weather app. We'll make it, don't worry. A weather app, a card game, right? Audio player. What do you guys want? Yes, Anurup, you can say that. Yes, Node.js is a platform to run JS in our local machine. Yes. Guys, come on. Everyone. The course is of 7 days, Himanshu. The course is of 7 days, and every day it will start at 6:30 and end at 7:30, or maybe sometime we'll extend it depending on the content. Okay. Guys, everyone, come on, tell me, what do you guys want as project? Let me ask you this thing so that at the end of the day we'll again meet and we'll create. Okay, so what do you guys want? Game, audio player, data analyzer, e-commerce. See guys, one more thing, whatever we're going to learn in 7 days will not help us to actually create something like Facebook or e-commerce. Okay, so that's why I suggested you some small things that you guys can do. Is that clear? A fully functional website, it also requires a backend current. So that's one important thing. So yep, there we have it. Audio player. I'll give you some good options from all of this. We have audio player here. We have music player, that is almost same. We have a guessing game, that's great. Portfolio website, it will not require a lot of good JS. Portfolio website will only require like mostly HTML and CSS and some interactions. It will not require a lot of JS, right? Data analyzer. Himanshu, can you explain me what do you want in data analyzer? Any working website. Okay, calculator, very easy. Whatever we learn, you can make calculator yourself only. That's how easy it will be after 3 to 4 days. Tic-tac-toe, okay, that's also fine, but it's again very small project. I need something like a middle level project, like a music player is a good one, right? I can create a search in that. I can create all sorts of quiz game. That's a good option. Tic-tac-toe, can try it. Main important concept of JavaScript, we're going to learn it, don't worry. Age calculator. YouTube, we cannot make YouTube, Dhirumin. We cannot make YouTube. Why not make it a poll? Okay, fine. That's a good idea. So guys, don't worry. Tomorrow, I will give 4 options to you guys, and you guys have whatever. I'll give 4 options. I'll give 4 good options from all the suggestions that you guys are giving me. Okay, and you guys have to choose one. That will be fine, right? Here, it's too much to read at once, right? So I will give you 4 options, guys, and from that 4 options, choose anything tomorrow. But now to create a poll, it will be tough, right? Because I have to give options. Okay, guys, everyone. Yes, we can make data analyzer. Fine. I'll give you 4 options tomorrow, guys. From whatever I have read here, I'll record these charts and I'll give you 4 options tomorrow. So I want every one of you to be there tomorrow. I'll give you 4 options and you can select any one of it. So what is Express? Express is a third-party library that is mostly used in Node.js. It gives you all the functionalities to create API endpoints easily. That's what Express is in simple words. Okay, everyone? Yes, I'll create a poll. Yes, that will be very good. I thought I'll get some common, what do you say, suggestions, but here everything is different. So that's become confusing. So don't worry, guys. I'll listen to all of you. I'll pick some really good topics from all of this and I'll put it in the poll and you guys can select one, and whatever like is gonna have the highest vote, we'll make that. Okay, deal. We'll do that tomorrow. I want every one of you, and we'll go like raise a poll, and you guys select whatever you want. I hope that's clear, right? Is next class tomorrow? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, everyone. So now then, to reach to that project level, first we have to start from the basics, right? To reach to that project level where we can make it and understand it, first today we have to start. So then, let's go. Okay. So now, guys, let's start. Everyone, let's start at least the basics because we cannot finish a lot of things. We only have 15 minutes left for today. So let's go and let's start, everyone. Let's start the basics. So now, guys, see, as I said, right now we are only learning JavaScript on the client side. That means right now the running environment that we are going to use for JavaScript will be only the browser. So whenever you're writing client side JavaScript that will run on the browser, it always requires a HTML page. JavaScript on the client side or in the browser cannot run without an HTML page. It requires HTML page because on the client side it was basically made to work with HTML page. So on the client side, JavaScript will work with a HTML page only. So that's why now I have a really simple HTML page. You can say nothing is there. So let's see how to start with JavaScript here. Everyone, please focus. Let's see how to start with JavaScript. So now to start writing JavaScript, everyone, there are two ways. Now, if you have learned CSS, you might already know these two words. You can write JavaScript with HTML in two ways. One way is internal JavaScript, and second way is external JavaScript. And these are very simple thing to understand. Internal JavaScript means the JavaScript that you write inside the HTML page only. The JavaScript that you write inside the HTML page is considered as internal JS. The JavaScript that you write in a separate page that is completely dedicated to JS, that is what you call as external JS. And then you have to connect that page to the HTML page so that you can work. See, guys, understand on the client side, JavaScript only works with a HTML page. Is that clear? Because it was created like this. Okay, on the client side, it always works with the HTML page. So we have two options: internal, external. Internal means you write it inside the HTML page. External means you write it in some other document that is a JS document, and then you have to link it with the HTML page. So for today, guys, let's start with internal JS and let's see what it is doing. So now then, let's go. Now everyone, to start writing JavaScript, understand where to write it. If you're writing an internal JS in your HTML page, let's understand where to actually write it. So first of all, go inside your body, and inside your body, at the end of all the HTML elements. So let's say you're creating a web page, you have created a really good looking web page, you have a lot of divs, p tags, images, a lot of things. Wherever those things end inside the body, you can create a script tag. You create what? A script tag. And now the area between the script tag is where you are going to write JavaScript. The area between the script tag is where you're going to write JavaScript. So understand, all the HTML will go above that. All the HTML will go above this, and your script tag should be the last in the body because you want it to load at the end. So first you want all the HTML elements to load, then you want the scripting element to load. That's why you write all the HTML elements first and then scripting at the last. Is that cleared? So guys, then let's move ahead and let's talk about the first thing. And before that, I have 2+ experience in JavaScript. Amazing. That's great. Okay, guys. So let's go. Let's run this page. So right click on this page, copy the path, run it like a normal HTML file, guys. Don't worry. You can use a live server. That's totally fine. You can directly open it in Chrome. That's totally fine. So it's totally up to you guys. So in this case, I'm simply copying the path. Okay, right click, copy the path, go in your favorite browser, whatever you want. Don't use IE, use Mozilla, use Chrome, whatever you feel. And can we have multiple script tags? Yes, Trindant. Yes, yes, yes. You can have 100 of script tags depending on the work. Can I write script tag after body? Yes, it will work there, but that's not a good practice to write it there. That's just not a good practice, Vipul. Are you understanding the point? So there are some practices, some standards that you have to follow. Can we write in head tag? Yes, obviously, but that is not suggested because you don't want the script to load before HTML elements. You want it to load after HTML elements. Because see, what are you using the script for? Why are you writing JS code? To manipulate HTML. So if the HTML is not loaded, I don't want to load JS as well. So that's the basic logic. So I want the HTML elements to load first, and then I want to go ahead with JS. I'm 14 years old with 2 years. Amazing. That's even more amazing. That's great. Okay. So guys, now our page is running. Now, focus everyone on the next thing. It's very important. Now, when you work with JS, when you work with JS, there is an inbuilt tool inside the browser that is going to help us a lot. There is an inbuilt tool inside the browser that is going to help us a lot. And that is the tool that I'm going to teach you how to use it, how to view it. So right click on your browser, click on inspect. Okay. And then you'll open this section, which is also called as developer tools. What is good place to write? This is the good place to write. After the end of all your HTML elements inside the body, you write the script. That is the best place to write. That is where everyone writes. That's the good standard to write. Okay. So guys, just right click on your browser page, click on inspect, and then this will be open. This is basically nothing but developer tools. Tools that developers use to basically check, test, work on their website. So now this section, elements. If you're familiar from HTML and CSS, you might be already knowing this. This is where you can see your HTML. This is where you can see your CSS. You can manipulate it on the go. But right now, we are not gonna work on this. Right now, what we are interested in the next section, that is console. It is like the command prompt of the browser. Think of it like the command prompt of the browser. And this console is completely handled using JavaScript. And it does much more than that. What it does, you can write testing JavaScript code here. You can print your data here. You can use it for a printing purposes if you want to print some calculations. See, on this white page, you might have a really good looking web page. But now you want to do some calculation and print. Are you going to do it on the web page? Obviously not, because that will hamper the design. So still I want to print it and see what's the value. Where can I print it? In the console. So we mostly avoid testing things on the web page to print a variable, to see some value, to see if my loop is running, to see if my condition is running. To do all that, we don't hamper the web page design. We use this area called as console. This area works with JavaScript. It is like a command prompt of the browser. And if you make any errors in the JS code, that is also something that you can see here. So that's where it's going to help us a lot. So console is like the best friend of JavaScript developer or any web developer. Okay, everyone. I'm from Selenium automation background. We knew that element stuff. That's great. That's really great. Okay. Can we start React.js? Yes, you'll be really good to go ahead with React as well after this particular 7-day course. Yes. Okay, but again, it depends on how much you practice. Okay, everyone. So let's move ahead and let's learn the first thing that you learn in any programming language, that is how to print something. Right? When you go for C, C++, Java, that is the first thing that you learn, right? How to print something. So let's see how to print something in JS. Okay. So now guys, see, just like every programming language provides some inbuilt things that you can use, just like that, JS also provides you one really cool thing. And the really cool thing is called as console. So JS provides you internally, it's already there, you don't have to worry about it. Console object. Console is the object that actually helps you to work with all of this, to work with this console. Not all of this, all of this area. So JS provides an inbuilt console object to work with the console. And guys, see, whoever doesn't know what an object is, for now, just it's there. In 2 days, I will make sure that you understand what an object is, because in 2 days, we are going to learn what is an object, how it works, what is a property, what is a function, all of that. So no need to worry about that, guys. For now, just think, okay, it's something that JS provides. Okay. So console dot, it has a function called as log. And this function is something that actually helps you to print something on the console. This is the function that helps you to print something on the console. Then after every line, try to put a semicolon. Now, like as all the languages, semicolon is not mandatory in JS. As all the other languages like C and C++, where it is mandatory, in JS it's not mandatory. It's like optional. If you want, put it. If you don't want, don't put it. It's totally fine. It will not give you any error. But it's a good habit to have. Why? Because JS is not the only language that you're ever going to learn, right? You're also going to move to some other language as well. So it's simply to have the habit of putting semicolon. JS understands that. That's why they have not removed it. They have made it optional. If you want, put it. If you don't want, don't put it. Totally fine. And then inside this, you can write whatever you want. You can print variables, you can print objects, but in this case, I'm simply going to print a simple string. So whenever you're writing a string, guys, normally in any programming language, whenever you're writing a string, you have to use double quotes. String means nothing but collection of characters. Okay, everyone? String means nothing but a collection of characters like A, B, C. So whenever you want to write a string, you always have to use double quotes. Understand that. And it's mostly same in all the languages. Whenever you want to write a string, you have to use double quotation marks. So that's it. Console.log A, B, C. Let's see. Save it. Always, guys, whenever you make changes in the code, save it. Don't forget to save it. Save it. Go in your browser and just refresh. And here we go. Can you guys see that? On the console, we have printed ABC, or you can also print hello world or your name, anything, that's totally fine. In this case, I just thought of ABC, just a random thought. So ABC, and see, the best part about the console is it also tells you where you have written the code that is generating this line. It's written on index.html line number 15. Let's see. Here we go. Line number 15, index.html. Is that clear? ABC. So guys, that's how you print something in JavaScript. Now don't worry, after 3 to 4 days, this is not the only thing that we'll be doing. But for today, yes. Okay, from some basic things. Now, I'm not going to end today only with console.log. I'm going to teach you one more thing, one really important thing. Okay, but before that, let me ask you, are you guys understanding everything till now? Everyone, please, just give me a quick yes before the last topic for today. Are you guys understanding everything till now? Everyone, come on. Sir, VS Code extension for JS. Normally, Raj, you don't need any extension. Normally, VS Code supports HTML, CSS, and JS by default. Okay, normally you don't need any extension, but if you want, you can actually search for it. So don't worry. Tomorrow, I'll also tell you what extensions do you guys need to work with HTML, CSS, and JS properly. But normally you don't need it. Normally JS works directly. Okay, you don't need any extensions for it. Okay, that is really great. So then I can see a lot of yeses. Amazing. Let's move ahead and let's talk about the last topic for today. That is going to be something called as variables. Okay, so let me ask you, like, what do you know about variables? Everyone, come on, quick answer. I know the YouTube chat is late. Don't worry. Give me answers. So today, my first class on this channel, how can I join the community group? So Pinky, what you have to do is you simply go to LetsUpgrade.in, create your account there, and then there will be an option called as community once you log in. Click on that community and you're already there. You're joined. Is it cleared? Did not render on the browser? No, Uma. No, it will not, because we are intending to actually print it on the console only. We are not harming this area. Don't worry. After 2 days, I'll show you how to work on this area as well. Right now, to learn the basics of JavaScript, we're only going to use this area, the console. So everyone, please understand, to learn the basics, we're only going to work on console. Once we have learned all the basics, then we're going to move ahead and manipulate elements of this area. Okay? To store some value, which store a data, variable is a token that stores value, store the data, container, it's a container that will store values. Amazing. All the answers are almost correct. Yes, almost, not almost, it's actually correct. Variables are container store data. That's correct. So now guys, see, whenever you work with a programming language, okay, what do? You mostly work with data, right? You manipulate data, you change data, right? You display data. That's what we do normally. We always digitally, actually, we only work with data. Everything in digitally, it's data. Document.write is enough. You should not use document.write, Krishna. You should not use it. It's not a good thing to use document.write. I'll tell you why. Don't worry. In some days, I'll tell you why to not use document.write. Okay. So guys, see, we know that digitally, whenever we want to work, we always need to use data, create data, right? So just like that, JS is also a normal programming language, and we're going to use a lot of data. And to use a lot of data, we need to create data. And that's where variable comes into play. Variables are nothing but, you can say, is temporary memory location. Variables can be considered as temporary memory location. That means basically on a program, if I want to use some data, I need to create it. And as soon as I create it, inside my memory, a memory location is getting reserved to store that data. It's simple, right? If I want to speak something to you, first I need that thing in my mind. If something is not in my memory, how am I going to speak it? How am I going to use it? Just like that, if you want to work with any data, the first thing that you need is you have to store it in the memory. So variable is nothing but a temporary memory location. Is that clear? It is used to store data that your program is going to use. Is that clear, everyone? So as soon as you create a data, a temporary memory location is registered inside the memory in your RAM. Okay, and now that memory will be used till the time that data is getting used. Once that data is destroyed, or once your program is closed, that memory location is freed. So variable, first line of your answer should always will be variable is a temporary memory location. That should be the first line. Understand that, everyone. Okay, so now then let's move ahead and let's see how to create a variable. And it's very simple. In JS, it is the most simple. Simply give a name. Simple, right? You always have to give a name to your variable. Otherwise, how will you understand? Because you might have 10 variables, 10 data, 20 data, 30 data in your program. So you have to identify them, right? So for that purpose only, you create something called as identifiers. Identifiers are nothing but name of the variables. That's all, guys. Identifiers are nothing but name of the variables. Because you might create 10 variables, 20 variables, because you want to store 20 data and you have to identify all of them separately, right? And for that reason, you have identifiers that basically mean name of the variable. So for example, let's say I create a variable called num. As soon as I create it, and then I pass some value to it, like this, num equals to 20. What happens is, internally in my memory, a memory location is created for this particular identifier or the variable name, that is num. And inside that, 20 is stored. Now, whenever I want to use this value, I can use this particular variable name, or I can use this particular variable anywhere I want. That's what it does. Is that clear? But there is a way. It is not directly that you create it like this. There is a way. So the way is like this. First, you need to mention the type. Then you need to mention the identifier, or you can also call it the variable name. Okay. And then equals to, you have to mention the value. This is the correct way of creating a variable. First, type. What type of data are you going to store? Second, the name of the variable equals to any value. That is how it is getting created. Is that clear? Now, let's see how do you give type, because in this case, see, you can see I have only given name and value. I have not given type. So how do you give type? So first of all, let's go to the old ways. Initially in JavaScript, there was only one thing. There was only one type that you need to give to create any variable, and that was called as var. It stands for variant. That basically means the variable that you have created is not having a fixed type. The type will change depending upon the value that you pass. For example, see, when I put my mouse on this num, see, right now it is saying that, okay, fine, the type of your variable is number. If I go ahead and store a string like this, Saurabh, that will show me the type of num is string. Are you getting the point? So initially there was only var. Initially when JS was created and till long time, it was only having var. It was the only type that you can give. And var means variant. That means there is no fixed type. Like if you go for C and C++, there they have fixed types: int, boolean, float. If you give int, that means that variable can only store number, nothing else. But here that's not the case. You can store anything inside a variable, and the type will change depending on what you are storing. That's why JavaScript is also considered as a loosely typed language. It is a loosely typed language. It is not restricting you or not forcing you to give a proper type. No. Use var, give any value, I'll change my type. That's why JS is also considered as what, guys? Loosely typed language. Okay, and I can see a lot of people asking let versus var versus const. Don't worry. There will be a correct time to understand it. Maybe by tomorrow you'll understand it. Because see, right now if I teach you let, you'll never understand the difference between var and let perfectly. Because to make you understand the difference between var and let, first I have to show you what actually are the benefits of let. And for that I need to create some blocks, like, what do you say, for loop. I need to show you how that is working. Okay, so don't worry, tomorrow we will understand the difference between var, let and const, and from that you'll decide that, okay, yeah, let is good, let's use let. But understand, guys, for a long time, where was the thing that was available in JS? But don't worry, we are not going to use it. We are not going to use it. We'll use the correct version and correct one. But for that, first you need to understand why we have this new one. What are the benefits of let over where? We need to understand all that. Like, see, understand, guys, understand this, that without understanding, if you do anything, that is not correct. You should always, in programming, always do the things that you understand, so that you can make it and break it at any time. Okay, so now I'm directly not writing let here. I'll explain you why do we have let, what is the benefit of that, what is the benefit over var. We'll compare both of them, and then I'll start using let. Shisha is asking, is var a default? No, it's not a default. Actually, it's not a default. Okay, let me console.log stores data in the console of your browser and usually not visible on the web page, while document.write print on your web page. Yes, exactly, Isak. Yes. See, guys, someone was asking, right, the difference between document.and and console.log. Console.log prints in the console without hampering your web page. If you use a document.write, it will hamper your web page. Whatever you have created here, it will go away, and whatever you're writing using document.write will be only visible here. It will override all the design. Document.write will override all the design. Is that clear? So that's why we avoid using document.write and we use console.log, so that it is printing it somewhere else. Site is still cool and fine. Okay. So everyone, are we cleared? And I can see a lot of people asking, what is today's assignment? Today, I'm not going to give you any assignment because we have not done that much. What I want is everyone just refresh your HTML and CSS skill. Please, please, I want that. Just refresh your HTML and CSS skill. Just refresh your basic programming fundamentals. Read a little more about programming. That is what I want. That's the only thing what I want. I don't want you guys to create an assignment for the first day. But yes, tomorrow we'll learn more things. Tomorrow we'll talk about conditions. Tomorrow we'll talk about loops. And then there will be something to give you as assignment. Today we don't have anything, right? What can I give as assignment? Create a variable and print it. That's nothing. That's very simple, right? Is it clear, everyone? Okay, so for today there will be no assignment, but still I want you guys to refresh and recharge your HTML and CSS skills and just read more about programming. And to end today's session, let me just show you that how to print a variable. Okay, so see, just like you can print ABC, if you want to print a variable, just remove this and just write the variable name. And that's how you can print a variable. Console.log num. And whatever will be the value inside num, that will be printed. And if you save it, and here we go, we have this, the value of num. Simple. Now, today was only the basics. And today we understood all about JS, the basics of JS. If I have more questions, where I can ask? See, guys, all of you, please, please, please join the community. Just go on LetsUpgrade.in, sign up, and just join the community there. And that's where you can put your questions, and either me or our moderators will definitely answer you. Is it clear? Use of prettier extension. If you install prettier extension in VS Code, so when you write code, it will be basically prettified. That means, see, sometimes we write code like this, right? Like this, here and there. So it will prettify and make it good at the end. Now, see, personally, I don't write code like this. I follow my own rules to write code. But prettifier, sometimes if you miss, sometimes if your code is here and there, your some lines are here, some lines are there, it will arrange it properly. That's what prettier does. It prettifies your code. That's all. So now, guys, let me ask you a question. Have you guys understood everything? And have you guys enjoyed this session? That's my main question. If you have enjoyed it, please let me know in the chat. Everyone, have you guys understood everything? Have you guys enjoyed this session? That's what I want to ask. And yes, next class timing is tomorrow 6:30. Exactly at the same time we'll start again. Tomorrow 6:30. And guys, see, today we had 1 hour. We only wanted to do basics. So now I hope you have understood what is JS, what is the role of JS, okay, who made it, and how it works, and the basics. Now tomorrow we'll talk about conditions, we'll talk about loops, and if time permits, we'll again move ahead and talk about arrays and all that stuff. Okay. And guys, see, tomorrow I'm also going to give you a poll of the projects. So see, I have something in my mind. Audio player, I have it. I'll give one game as well. Audio player, one game, and I'll think of 2 more projects from the chat. I'll read the chats again. I'll think of 2 more projects, and I'll give you 4 options tomorrow. And whatever project will have the highest voting, that is what I'm going to create. Is that clear, everyone? So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope that all of you will join tomorrow as well. I really, really hope that. So please also tell your friends, guys, to join. Okay. And in some days, maybe by tomorrow, I'll provide you my LinkedIn ID as well as my some social media links, so that you can also connect to me and ask your questions there as well. If you have any really, really important questions directly, you can ask it there as well. So tomorrow, I'll also provide my LinkedIn and some social media links. You can ask me questions there as well. And you can also connect to me on the community. So just sign up on letsupgrade.in. And as always, if you want to learn more, you can just go on LetsUpgrade.in, see what are the courses that we have, and if you want, you can join any of the course, and you can basically then we'll learn together. I'll teach you directly. Okay, so that's it, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. It was a really great evening. I hope you will join tomorrow. Please mark your attendance, and I'll see all of you tomorrow at 6:30. Okay, bye bye, guys. Bye bye, everyone. Have a great night. Good night. Please read, write some program, and I'll see all of you tomorrow. I'm really hoping that all of you will be there tomorrow. And guys, one more thing, I'll share whatever I've done today on the community as well. Now, see, today we have not done a lot, so don't worry. From tomorrow, whatever we're going to do, I'll share all of these things on the community. Is that clear, everyone? So don't worry, guys. Don't worry. Just mark your attendance and be calm. Tomorrow we have a lot of things to do, and tomorrow I'll share everything on the community. Today we have not done that much that we need to share it. But today we actually learned the basics of JS. Now we know what to answer if someone asks me what is JS. Okay. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much. I'll meet you all tomorrow. Okay. Bye bye, guys. See all of you tomorrow. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye. Have a great night. Good night, everyone. Bye bye. Bye bye, guys.